Hey coders, how's it going? Mohamedou here, back again. And throughout this lesson, we'll be learning about comments in Python. So comments in Python are typically used alongside code to help make code more readable and understandable. In a nutshell, comments are human readable messages that are meant for other humans to read. Also, an important characteristic about comments is that when code is executed, comments are completely ignored. Now, this is advantageous for several different reasons. One of which is sometimes you may be writing code and things may not be very straightforward. Your code could be ambiguous. And so, writing a comment next to this code can make it very clear what it is that your code is doing. This is not useful just to yourself. This can also be useful to any other person that may potentially be reading your code. Also, sometimes when you're writing code, it's possible that you could take a break and come back to your code a few hours later, or even a day or a few days later, and you could not understand what it is that your code is doing. Now, this may be surprising, but this is something that happens to even experienced developers. And so when you document your code by using comments, it's a note to yourself to help you remember what it is that your code is doing and what problem you are trying to solve. Another way that comments are typically used in Python is to prevent code from being executed. Sometimes, as you're writing code, you may not be ready to execute a certain block of code. And so instead of deleting this code, you can comment that code out. This way, when you run your program, the commented out code is completely ignored. And you can always uncomment out this code whenever you're ready to continue working on that specific block of code. So this can be very beneficial and very convenient. So these are just a few of the ways that comments in Python are very convenient and also advantageous. Stay tuned, and over the next few lecture videos, we will dive deeper into comments and the two different ways that you can create them. So I'll see you all in the next few lecture videos. Single line comments in Python can only span a single line. And in order to create a single line comment, we want to start the line off with the pound sign. And anything to the right of this pound sign will be regarded as a comment and completely ignored when we run our code. So let's add some text to this comment. Here we'll say, this isn't code, but is a comment and will be ignored when we run our code. So let's go ahead and run this and let's see what we get. So as you can see, no output was detected. And that's because comments are ignored when we run our code. Let's go ahead and create another comment. And here we'll say, this is another single line comment and will be ignored. Let's go ahead and run this as well. And as expected, no output was detected. So you can create as many single line comments as you like. There is no limit. Now, one thing I want to point out is, although single line comments can only span a single line, there is a way where we can use single line comments to make a comment span multiple lines. So let's go ahead and see this in action. So let's say I have, this isn't code, but, and let's say I want to start the next thought on a new line, or I can just start a new comment and then continue my thought. So I can say, is a comment and will. Similarly, again, I can start a new line and make a new comment and continue my thought. So here we have, and will be ignored when I'll make a new comment on a new line and say, run our code. And so now we have, this isn't code, but is a comment, and it will be ignored when we run our code. So essentially, we use 4 single line comments to essentially make a multi-line comment to make our thoughts span multiple lines. And if we go ahead and run this, as expected, no output was detected. And that's essentially it for single line comments. Multi-line comments in Python can span 1 or more lines. Multi-line comments in Python are typically referred to as doc strings, which is short for documentation strings. We can create these kind of comments in one of 2 ways. The first way is surrounding our message by a pair of triple single quotes. The second way is surrounding our message by a pair of triple double quotes. So let's see this in action. So we'll start off by creating a comment using triple single quotes. So here I have my pair, and we'll put our message in between them. So we'll say this is a multi-line comment, which is also known as a doc string, short for documentation string. And let's go ahead and run this. And we'll see here that we have no output because comments in Python are completely ignored when we run our code. Next, let's create another multi-line comment, but this time we'll create it using a pair of triple double quotes. So here I have my pair, and I'll put my message in between them. So we'll say this is another multi-line comment, also known as a doc string. And we can say doc strings are ignored when our code is executed. So let's go ahead and run this. And as expected, no output. So as mentioned before, multi-line comments can also span a single line. So let's see that in action. So first I'll start off by creating another comment using triple single quotes. And I'll put my message in between them. So here we have, this is a multi-line comment that spans one line. I'll create another comment, and this time we'll use a pair of triple double quotes. And I'll put my message in between them. And we'll have, this is another multi-line comment that spans one line. So let's go ahead and run this, and we should expect no output. And that's exactly what we get. One thing to remember when you're creating multi-line comments is that if you decide to create your comment using a pair of triple single quotes, then you must start and end your comment with triple single quotes. Similarly, if you're going to create your comment using a pair of triple double quotes, then your comment must start and end with triple double quotes. You cannot mix and match. The way you start your comment is the way you have to end your comment. And that's essentially it for multi-line comments in Python.